We're here along 135 northbound. If you take a look right behind me here, you can see that bus that caught on fire. Stacey, this is still a very active scene. You can see the police car in this area here blocked off. We found out that the Lompoc Valley Medical Center did pass their inspection and is in full compliance. That means people with Medicaid, Medi-Cal, and Medicare will all be able to come here and get treatment. Now, the CEO tells us he expected this clean bill of health. Trailer Barn isn't the only target. Just across the street here from me, the business manager telling us someone broke in and stole thousands of dollars of equipment. Hillsides like this are all burned and full of ash, but fire officials say they won't always stay this way. Now, you might think distracted driving is only people who are on their cell phones, but officers say it's anything that can distract you from keeping your eyes on the road. That can include eating and even putting on makeup. Melissa, getting behind the wheel means focusing on your mirrors, what's in front of you and behind you. Now, I tagged along for a driving lesson today. We're gonna try to go down this ride. You guys ready? All right, let's go. Woo! Woo! Live in Santa Maria, I'm Valdes. Michael Giles' sister says he was the glue that held their family together. Now, just behind me here, you can see a memorial in his honor where he was shot and killed. She says the DA's report does not accurately portray her brother and says she still has a lot of questions.
Our whole family misses him, and you know, we live every day now without him, and everyone else just goes on with their lives, but we've all lost a part of us.
For the Giles family, the last 6 months are some of the toughest they've lived.
It's been a living nightmare, honestly.
Finding comfort in family and friends, Liana Giles says her family is still seeking justice months after her brother Michael Giles was shot and killed by Lompoc police.
I feel like they're painting a picture to make my brother seem one way when he wasn't.
She's talking about this 19-page report by the Santa Barbara County District Attorney, calling the death of Giles last November a justifiable homicide.
The evidence showed that Corporal Scott gave numerous commands to the suspect to drop the knife, and in response, the suspect stood up and lunged at Corporal Scott.
That's when Corporal Charles Scott shot Giles twice. The report saying the circumstances created a reasonable fear of death or great bodily injury in the mind of Corporal Scott. The family's attorney, Michael Carrillo, agreed to an interview via Skype, saying the report discredits who Giles really was.
It's pretty clear. Within a minute and a half of him arriving, he used lethal force on Michael Giles.
Lompoc Police Chief Pat Walsh calls Giles' death a tragedy for everyone involved, saying the DA's report is thorough. He says he asked the sheriff's office to investigate this shooting in efforts of being transparent.
I feel like if there was more time put into it, maybe they could have prevented his death.
And as for Corporal Scott, the police chief tells me he was back to full duty a few weeks after the shooting. Now, the family's attorney tells me the next step would be to file a lawsuit. Live in Lompoc, Amanda Valdes at KCOY 12 Central Coast News. John, take a look at this area here around me, right where I'm standing 2 months ago. This didn't exist. Now, if I move the camera here to the side, you're able to see this area here. This was all eroded because of the rain. This leads down here to the Atascadero Creek. And now the family who lives inside of this home, they say they're grateful they'll be able to go back in.
Give me a big wet kiss, but you're taller than I am.
Right there. They saved my home. Like I said, my wife and I sat in the evening sun last night thinking about the fact that we got our home back.
This is the moment John Shadak thought he would never see. His home was in jeopardy of falling into the Atascadero Creek, but not anymore.
I didn't believe it. They said they could do it, and I didn't believe it. I saw how bad it was.
2 months ago, this is what the foundation here looked like. Heavy rain created large cracks leading to his home, eroding a part of the ground away.
There was nothing here where you're standing. That was all 75 feet into a whirlpool.
Shadak describes what happened next as a miracle.
Thank you very much what you've done.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
I can't thank you enough.
Michael and I got together and were talking and said, let's just go over there and fix it. It's the right thing to do. It's a community thing to do.
And that's what Leonard Sutherland helped to do. fix the problem for free by lining up boulders along the creek's waterline and helping to stabilize this again. Shadak says there aren't enough words to describe what this means to him.
You just can't describe it. I mean, I will be really satisfied when I lay in my own bed in the darkness and say, I'm home.
The victim of that crime is the San Luis Obispo Mayor Heidi Harmon. Tonight, she's sending out a strong message to the community that she leads, saying this is unacceptable and concerning. There's not much left of this pride flag.
Flag had been burned and left there purposefully.
The flag belonged to San Luis Obispo Mayor Heidi Harmon. For years, it flew outside of her home. She says she found it like this Thursday morning.
This is really unacceptable. This is definitely concerning.
Police are investigating this as a hate crime, even though Harmon is a straight woman.
Those of us that are either directly in marginalized communities or in allyship with folks in marginalized communities seem to be equally at risk in terms of the blowback.
The crime took place during Pride Month, something that hits close to home for many.
We need to stick together. We need to make sure that our voices are heard and that, people realize that acts like this are not tolerated, and we're not going to tolerate it, and, we're going to stand up for our rights.
Mayor Harmon says an act like this goes against everything this city and community is about.
People should know that acts like this will not work in terms of keeping allies or people in the LGBT community from standing up for themselves.
Someone also cut up these signs promoting unity and inclusion. These were also on display in front of the mayor's home. Police say there is no tolerance for crimes like this.
I think I would ask that the community increase their communication with us as a police department. That they reach out to us.
While their investigation continues for any leads, the mayor is sending this strong message.
Love is greater than hate, and love is greater than fear.
The mayor tells me she will be putting up a new flag soon. Now, anyone with any information is asked to call the San Luis Obispo Police Department. And if you're in need of a safe space or someone to talk to, the Gala Center here is available for you. Live in San Luis Obispo, Amanda Valdes, KCOY 12 Central Coast News.